The title of the talk today is The One in the Many. This month we've been doing a series on brotherhood, and isn't brotherhood an awesome opportunity to learn about love and to learn about ourselves? And each Sunday has given us another step that we can take individually, allowing for that collective transformation to greater love on the planet. So today, the one in the many, the one God in all. God in all. That seems like such a simple concept, doesn't it? God in all. And we hear it intellectually, but a lot of times that doesn't translate into our daily living. And especially when we begin to understand that God is love. See, God is love. So now we get to work on allowing love to translate into our world, allowing love to touch our brothers and sisters, and then really allowing their love to come back and touch us. I think that's the key to brotherhood, to begin to understand what brotherhood is. And so God is love. Love and life are inseparable from each other, and love is the active principle. See, love and life are inseparable. It's the same thing. God is ever present, in the presence of God. So if God's everywhere present, God's in everything and everyone. So God is life. So love and life is inseparable. And to begin to understand that, and that's because we have been kind of taught to put God outside of ourselves. And say God's in some far off place when God's within our heart, our beingness. God's within nature, trees and rocks and animals and things like that. So God is in all this stuff, and then love is an active principle in that. And love is a universal quality. Love is a universal quality. And to begin to kind of put that in our hopper and use it. So here's a term that we use a lot around here, okay? We want to see, feel, or experience the activity of God. Has anyone ever said that? Or become aware of the activity of God. And when we're aware of the activity of God, what we really are aware of God's love in action. See, the action of God. And so, like this morning, I asked that the activity of God fill this room. You know, so as I've asked that the activity of God fill this room, we're opening the door that God's love can flow through here, this room, and touch us all in a unique way that we could use in our manifestation. Opening the door, I asked that the activity of God fill this room. And it's a real simple statement that we can use in our homes, in our place of work, business, commerce, grocery stores, all of life, because life and love are inseparable. God is love. Okay. So I ask that the activity of God fill this room. I wanted to read just a short thing just to kind of really get on the same page and maybe get a glimpse of brotherhood also. And we've heard this before, and we use it a lot, but it's foundation to really own and to take it out of here, put it into our heart, write it on the bottoms of our shoes, and walk it. So here it is. And this is Jesus, and this would be in chapter 68 in the Aquarian Gospel. And people are asking him, about the Christ. Men call me Christ, and God has recognized the name. But Christ is not a man. The Christ is universal love, and love is king. Christ is love. Christ is love. This Jesus is but man who's been fitted by temptations overcome, by trials multiform, to the temple through which the Christ can manifest. So Jesus, the man, his walk and his many walks before his walk on planet Earth at that moment in time, was fitted with many experiences for which he could release all that kept him from loving unconditionally, freely, Then hear you men of Israel, hear. Look not upon the flesh, it's not king. Look to the Christ within, who shall be formed in every one of you as he is formed in me. And that's a pretty good promise, isn't it? So that's our kind of our directive. And then he says, when you have purified your hearts by faith, the king will enter in and you will see his face. All of the parables and stories and teachings of Jesus that we read in the Aquarian Gospel present us with two things. They show us identity and they show us purpose. And the identity that Jesus revealed to us was that we are the sons and daughters of God. So that's our identity. And then purpose, our purpose is to be that. God is love, so be love. Our purpose is to be love. Our identity is God's our Father, which is love. That's who we are. And our purpose is to just be who we are, to be love. And see, that sounds simple, doesn't it? Because it doesn't take that much thought to be. This is how masterful we are. We create all sorts of stories and thoughts and scenarios to figure out who we are instead of just going within and knowing. See, then the king will reside within your heart and you see his face. So once we begin to just look at that simple directive of the Christ, giving us purpose and identity, now we can begin to integrate with the whole. And so brotherhood, well, if God's in me, God's in you. God's within all of us. And all of us are that unique expression of God. And we certainly want people to really recognize and acknowledge our unique gifts to the world as well as they would like their unique gifts to be acknowledged also. And I think that's the crux of brotherhood. One God expressing individually and uniquely through the whole. No one's better than anyone else. That's an interesting concept. It's a higher dimensional concept, isn't that? But our heart goes, no, that's right. It's right. We are one. We're one in God's love. Unique and expressive of God's love. So allowing to our identity, okay, I'm God's love. My purpose is to love. Okay, does anyone here know anyone who has a green thumb? Maybe their Aunt Mary or maybe yourself. Okay, so a person with a green thumb, most of the time they're not technical and understand biology and all this other stuff, but you know what they do? They love plants. You see what I'm saying? They love plants. It's part of their being. You see what I'm saying? They can connect with the plants. So it's not what they're knowing about plants, it's loving plants. It's loving themselves and not allowing themselves, loving themselves and allowing themselves to express that love to plants. And they don't care what people think. But after a while, everybody wants their plants. Hey, I love your African violets. I can't grow them. You know, it's like, they're giving away. And you know what they're giving away? They're not just giving away plants, they're giving away love. Because those plants are infused with love. And it's just that beingness, being love, who they are in their particular walk. Like we hear spiritual verses and things like that, and all of a sudden we start climbing this big ladder and we have to attain these heights and make ourselves special. When how special is it to know that you're loved and then your particular gift would be to love the plant kingdom. And they grow and flourish in your presence and your love. And people that train animals, they love animals, dog trainers, horse trainers, animal trainers. They love animals. It's not that they know the technical aspect of how to train. They love those animals. And love responds to love. As the plants respond to the love of the person who's got the green thumb, the animals respond to the love of their whisperer or their trainer or their groomer or their owner. It's love. It's not so much that they've got a degree in animal husbandry. They know that they're loved and they share that love with that particular aspect. Have you ever had a teacher from the past, so I've got a big old past back there, but that you really loved and they made a mark on you even to this day? You won't forget them. And I was pretty much unconscious my whole life. But I had this one teacher in high school, and his name was Mr. Stoltz, Armin Stoltz. And he was so cool because he was like a character. And he had these glasses and a mustache, and he was kind of a small-built guy. He'd wear a suit that was too big for him, and he taught world literature. And how I get in this class, I don't know, because I'm not even aware of anything. But he loved literature. He loved stories and poetry and everything because it took him on a journey. He was gone. And sometimes he'd be walking in front of, and I'm coming from a small little farm town. This guy shouldn't be there. He should be in New York City. And he's just walking in and just starts spouting off poetry in class. And everybody's going, whew, whew. What is he talking about? He doesn't even care. He is so in love with literature and the gift of his imagination and the understanding of a person's imagination to write. And he'd go, one time he said, you know what? I wouldn't mind being stranded on a desert island as long as I had a bunch of books to read, because I would take those books and they'd take me away from there. They would take me out of there. And so thank you, Armin Stoltz, for planting those seeds within me. At the time, I didn't get it. I enjoyed him. It was probably the only class that I sat up and paid attention to. But he loved what he did. He loved who he was. He didn't care if high school kids snickered at him. Do you see what I'm saying? Make jokes about him. I was like, man, I love this guy. And that's what life is all about. And as we begin to move in that space of loving us and allow that love to go out, that's what creates that armor, you see, that goes out and infuses our whole experience and also insulates us from those barbs and little snickers behind our back and things like that. But to begin to understand how important love is, and then to take that and as we allow our love to flow, that's what allows us to connect with our brothers and sisters. That is true brotherhood. None of those examples that I gave you, those people thought they were better than anyone else. I just love them. Do you see? Isn't that a simple statement? I just love my plants. I love my animals. I love my books. If you love them, great. What do you love? You see? Isn't that a great door to open up to people? Gosh, I can see you really love this stuff. Yeah, I do. Hey, by the way, what do you love? Do you see? Share with me your heart. Share with me your soul. Now we can lift the whole. Just by sharing love. It's very powerful. The dynamic energy of love. See, the dynamic energy of love. We've been written on our head called brain smudging. You know, it's like love is this emotion, it's this sentimental thing, and it's this bunch of hoops and stuff. Love is God energy, the activity of God, life. Until we can get to that point, we're just going through the motions. We're not connecting with ourselves, and we're not connecting with others. And brotherhood takes us to connect with ourselves, and then we can connect with others. That's what creates brotherhood. So here's a statement along with that statement. You can never really understand anyone until you love them, until you can perceive the whole of them, even despite the partial expression of their faults. You see? You know, when people love each other, they kind of let down their guard, and they be authentic. They try to find somebody. Cindy loves me. I am so blessed. And her love has allowed me to lift and transcend far greater than I could have on my own. I'm going to say that for sure. But to begin to allow that love to create an area of acceptance. People can put on good shows, can't they? Put on a happy face. Don't follow them home. We've all heard of Eleanor Rigby, haven't we? A face she keeps in a jar by the door. So that mask wasn't who Eleanor was, and our mask isn't who we are. We're love. And as we allow that love to begin to grow and expand out into our world, that allows for brotherhood. Every person is a whole person in potential. How cool is that? In potential, it's our potential. Expression of this whole varies greatly. Greatly. Ours isn't to judge. Ours is just to acknowledge love stands before us. Love sees beyond appearance. See, love sees beyond. And here's the good one for that, which I'm sure you can all relate to. A mother's love. A mother's love sees beyond any appearance of their child, because they see that child as a child of God, and they love it. It sprang from them, and that aura of love that they surround that child within will allow that child to grow and blossom. They've done a whole lot of, I hate to use the word experiments and everything, but you know, you do them with animals, they do them with people too, with babies too. Babies need to be held. Babies need to be stroked. Babies need to be hugged. It's part of the process of exchanging love. They don't develop as well as they could if love was infused into the matrix of their consciousness. So to begin to look at a mother's love, it's a beautiful thing. And their child can do no wrong. And I know teachers hate to hear that. Johnny's a good boy. You're not telling me he does that stuff. See, the teacher's back there laughing. But no, they have to put up with parents who see their children as perfect, you see. They see them as whole, but in the potential of that. And it's really neat to look at that, the mothers, because within that child, they see potential. They see that potential because they've been growing it for 9 months. And it's not just this biological, organic thing that's happening. A multi-dimensional, mystical birth creation is happening. And so they have this connection, and they see potential, and that's a powerful thing. If we can see the potential in another, we're going to draw the potential out of them. If we look at the less than of another, we're going to draw the less than of them. That's how powerful we are, and that's how powerful love is, our words are. So a mother's love. Another thing, a gardener, he sees the potential. In the springtime, he gets all his seeds and maybe his bulbs and all this stuff, and he knows what his garden's going to look like in the late summer. Oh, these flowers are going to be over here, these shrubs are going to be over here, my carrots are going to come up over here. Cindy, can you share this with me a second? This is cool. One of my clients, a couple weeks ago, I was counseling, and we're like trying to create in their world, you know. And so we have to use our dreams and our intentions and things like that, put seeds out into the universe. So we plant a seed in the universe, and it will draw that which it needs to manifest, to grow and manifest. And so, oh, wow, this is really great. And I said, these seeds, I said, it's just like an acorn. An acorn's got an oak tree in it. What? Acorn's got an oak tree in it. What are you talking? I said, no, really, they do. They had never heard that. Serious. And I'm not judging them. How's that? You know, of course, oh, okay. Well, I said, well, they do, you know, and this little acorn and this big oak tree grows up. And so we did finish the counseling session and everything, and she was going through and checking out. And so I went up in the garden, and where we have grandmother oak up there, and who creates thousands of acorns every year. And if you go up there and look around, I went up there, and I found a little oak tree. And so if you look at this round thing right here, that's an acorn. You see, the acorns fall into the ground. You know, the earth gives everything it needs. Shoot down here, let's get some more nutrients. And then boom, let's get some light. And so after she's going out there, I went out there and I found one, and I went out to her car. I said, hey, look at this acorn, this oak tree, you know. Take it with you and plant it. Can I? How do I do that? Put it in the earth. Put it in the earth. But so this is an oak tree, a baby oak tree from grandmother oak tree out there in our meditation garden. And that is the sweetest, wise tree. I would encourage you all to go up there and sit under it or even touch it. So if anybody wants this grandmother oak tree, I'm giving it away. How's this? Okay, see how good that is? So anyways, so to begin to understand that we're working with this energy of love, and love sees beyond appearances. Love sees beyond appearances. So we look at that acorn. Oh, look at all these acorns I'm slipping on. And then that's going to grow up into a beautiful tree. And then that's going to produce tens of thousands of acorns, you see, if it's put in the ground. And that's what's really neat about it. So to begin to look at the potential that's within all of life. The potential that's within all of life is the unlimited essence of God. And as we begin to recognize that and then surrender to that, and that's the big step for us, letting go of our need to control and surrendering to the transforming love of God in all things. In all things. We exhaust so much energy in the outer reacting to life's situations, when if we went within and asked to see the love in the situation, and then to begin to direct love to the situation, the person, the thing, we would see our world transform. We'd see our world transform. Love is one of the most underdeveloped energies that mankind has to use. How many believe that? We all believe that. Love is one of the most underused energies that mankind has. And it's consciousness. As we begin to expand our consciousness, we'll begin to see and be more than we think we are. Our world can become greater than we think it can become. We have pictures of the Garden of Eden, and we say, we want the Garden of Eden back. Well, that was for a certain time-space sequence, you see. We live in a different time-space sequence. So perhaps our Garden of Eden could look a little different, but it could still give us everything that the Garden of Eden gave those that live there. You see? So we have to let ourselves out of the box. Let yourself out of the box. And give God's love a chance to express freely. So in our attempt at brotherhood and love, this kind of goes along with the divine dip. How amazing is that? As we give expression to the energy of love, the love I am, we create an atmosphere in which another person's growth process may be activated. Wow, how cool is that? So if we allow our love, which is God's love, to just flow freely, we create this aura or this atmosphere around us, and then when we come into the proximity of someone else, that love goes in and activates their love process. We're trying to figure out our life process, aren't we? Who am I? What am I doing here? And everyone is. So what a wonderful gift. What a wonderful gift to just share your love. Share your love because it will activate their love process. Their love potential can be released. See? So we're a God seed. We're not an acorn. You see? We're a God seed. And love, when we are influenced by love, it can activate and then release our love potential. I think that's why Earth was created. I think Earth was created to be a planet of love and beauty and joy and peace and happiness. All those good qualities that we all want to experience. And the key is love. And so when we tap into the love I am and just allow it to be, say, to be, human being, divine man being, just be the love you are. And no one can tell you how to act. You go within. You go within and listen to that still small voice. Listen to the Father within. And then respond to that guidance from the Father within. See, we're a seed of God's love. And our deepest desire is to express who we are. Like the deepest desire of the acorn is to be a tree. It's not to be in somebody's acorn collection. It's to be a tree, oak tree. And our seed to be God's love expressed individually, uniquely. That's who we are. That's brotherhood. Oh, I really appreciate your uniqueness. I just love you. And you too. Gosh, you're really letting your light shine today. You see, that sounds kind of weird, but I think we should start talking like that in our communities, wherever we're at, and just to introduce this new thought that isn't new at all, but to begin to activate the love potential in others, their love potential, whatever that looks like. And in the process, that supports us freeing more and more and more, taking off those shackles, the locks, the walls, the barriers, anything that limits life, you see? And we get too literal. We get too literal. Prejudice is a prison we put ourselves in, you see? Why do we think we're better than anyone else? See, because we're all the same, you see? So once we kind of go within and start asking these questions, we might hear, you're not better than they are. How's that? You say, God's can be pretty straight. But you see, so we free ourselves from that prison. So we want to just free ourselves from anything and everything that limits our ability to be God's love made manifest. That's what allows for true brotherhood. We celebrate each other's triumphs. And we're compassionate and loving when they might hit a low spot. And if we have to, we'll just pick them up. There you go. You're going to be fine. I see who you are. I see that you are God's love made manifest. And you know what? You're unique expression is integral to the world in 2020. So don't forget that. To release our love potential and to support releasing the love potential in another. And it begins with us turning on our love, you see. And that seed isn't to be kept away, protected behind boulders or doors or gates or veils, you see. Remove all those and then we allow our love to flow. It's a lot simpler. God created a simpler plan than we've been creating our own, you see. It's so much more simpler. And it's a whole lot more fun. It's a whole lot more fun. So to begin to first understand that we are God's love, let that be the foundation of who we are, and then just allow that to express through every aspect of our life. And in the process, we are loving and supporting life itself. Life itself. So we come here, and the last two things I want to say is we need to allow ourselves to be loved. Now, isn't that hard for some people? See? We have to allow ourselves to be loved. And then the next step is we have to allow ourselves to love. You see? Flow. Allowing ourselves to be loved by God unconditionally. You see? And when we do that, we start drawing people that will love us unconditionally, that will see us for who we are. And then we'll just allow that love to flow. Take no fear. Let's go within. And let's close our eyes. And just breathe once again. And let's breathe with intention. Let's breathe in holy breath. So just breathe in God's love right now. And breathe it right into your heart. And feel your heart growing and expanding. And just surrender to the transforming love of God. And just breathe. And I want you to move into your heart in consciousness. And as you enter into your heart, you enter into the garden of your heart. This place where you're always safe and always loved. And ever in God's care. So as you enter and walk through your garden, notice if it's changed any since the last time you were there. But just breathe in the essence of this place of unconditional love. And as you stand in the middle of your garden, I want you to just look up and see the golden sun shining down upon you. And as this golden sun shines upon you, it's as if you're standing in a shaft of golden light. And feel it coming through your crown chakra and then moving through all your chakras, through the bottoms of your feet, into the earth. And then back up through your body temple. And see your body temple, a radiant golden light. And as you breathe, begin to feel the vibration, the purity of God's love and God's light. Breathe and feel, and breathe and know. This is who you are. This is who I am. To just allow the energy of God's love and God's light to continue sweeping through you as you stand in your sacred garden. Knowing that all that's less than loving is being cleared from your energy field. All that limits your ability to be loved and to love, to be cleared from your temple. And just breathe, and as you breathe, it's easier. Breathe easy as you surrender to God's love, as you surrender to your pure potential as a seed of God's love. So just breathe and feel. Breathe and remember. This is who I am. I am love. And my purpose this lifetime is to love. So just breathe and feel that golden light showering down upon you, quickening your energy field, and just feel yourself being lifted lighter and freer and higher, transported through time and space back into this room. And feel yourself back in your body, back in your chair, back in your spiritual home. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the love in your heart. Gently wiggle your toes and fingers. Gently open your eyes. And in your heart say, divine love, manifest thyself in me. Divine love, manifest thyself in me. And so it is. Again.